apologize for taking up space, acting in ways that are outside the norm. I did it with pride. I encourage women everywhere and femme-presenting people. Take up space. So scary with AI these days.
What do you do when the whole internet is criticizing you for wiping paint on yourself and your skirt during a painting competition? When everyone is calling you performative, how do you respond without sounding even more performative? Do you even respond? The situation I want to cover in today's video is an interesting case into how TikTok buzzwords or buzz phrases kind of pave the way for mass criticism online, as well as the difficulties and often lose-lose situation of making a response video and trying to move on as a creator and an artist. Let's get into it. Art Battle is a live speed painting competition, and it's pretty big. They do this globally. A group of selected painters get 20 minutes to fill a canvas. I believe the event is live streamed so that audiences both in person and online can vote for their favorite painting. So an artist that goes by the name of Olivia Andrade participated in Art Battle in March 2025 in Toronto. She had presumably a friend or family member record the full duration of her competition, and then she posted a 1-minute recap of the competition to her TikTok. This video is, to this day, still her most viewed piece of content on her TikTok, and mostly for negative reasons. In this video, she's not only working on the canvas itself, but she also wipes her paintbrush on her clean skirt. She uses her hands, which then she proceeds to place on her waist, leaving handprints that frame her lower back tattoo that says art in capital letters. She's moving very, I would say, like deliberately, kind of putting on a show outside of making the painting itself. Do you guys like my pigeon mug? I drew this myself using my trackpad on my MacBook, and I was just playing around with product mockups on Printful to get like filler content for my sponsorship. This is the sponsored segment, by the way. I'm sponsored by Printful today. They make screen printing and embroidery on demand. I wasn't gonna buy it for real, but my boyfriend saw what I was working on and he loved the illustration so much. You guys know I usually thrift things, but we were both so happy with this mock-up that we bought it for real, and now we're gonna treasure it forever. If you want to make products like this, Printful has loads, including an eco-friendly section. If you're looking for ways to sell like your graphic designs or your slogans, this is also a great way to start a business. You can link Printful to a web store. I used to do this actually on Shopify. Printful also has multiple factories, so wherever you or your customers are buying from, it's gonna be made and shipped to you from close by, so you can bypass tariffs and long delivery times. The quality of their products is great. I've personally never had an issue with Printful. If this sounds like something that would be interesting for you, you can check out the link in my description. Back to the video. People did not like the video. Here's what some of the top comments had to say. I like the picture, but her movements and her dirtying her clothes feels a bit performative. She wanted to stand out so bad, ruining her clothes like she isn't making a 2020s Pinterest trend. Was it necessary to wipe the paint on herself? She's more of a performer than an artist. My expectations were high. The result was low. She really tried to be cute by rubbing all that paint on her like she's the main character or something. So the main thing that haters were saying was that she was kind of trying too hard, being disingenuous, and two like TikTok terms came up. One was performative and the other was main character. And Olivia posted a similar recap to her Instagram reels, and the response over there was no better. I know she painted her hands blue in order to smear it on her sides and skirt, LMAO. I feel like everyone else came to paint their best work and you came to serve Pinterest girly. So performative. Also, ain't no way she has an art tattoo on her lower back, LMAO. There were a couple comments defending her here and there. Why do y'all hate everything? OMG, let people live. Y'all are not true artists because art is about expression. Art is not just about what we paint, it's about how we paint. She may be putting on a show, but that is a part of her art and self-expression. Y'all need to get off the internet. The painting is amazing and she's doing something she enjoys. Get a hobby. So her defenders were saying that it's fine to put on a performance, like she's not hurting anyone, she's just having fun, and that's a sentiment that I'm on board with. Her haters, on the other hand, they were saying that the kind of act she was putting on wasn't warranted by the quality and originality of her painting, which many noticed was just an iteration of the clown heart trend that was going on around Pinterest back in 2020. So people were criticizing her for a lack of originality and authenticity, and they saw her skirt painting act as kind of an act of compensation. This one long Instagram comment really summed up the core of the criticism. I would suggest trying to be more genuine. It seems you're more focused on how others will perceive you than on creating something that contains a piece of you. The very performative movements, the purposely exposed, unironic art tattoo, the painting of a 2020 Pinterest and TikTok trend, which doesn't seem honest and just evokes nothing. It's not a bad painting, it looks nice and cute and would be lovely as decor for a teen girl's room or something. You would improve so much if you started painting for yourself. So the whole situation was that people felt like she wasn't really doing art for herself. She did it because she liked the idea of art, the idea of being perceived as an artist. People saw Olivia as a girl who was unskilled, who didn't know who she wanted to be, and who was trying too hard in all the wrong ways. Now, this video was uploaded in March, which was 9 months ago by the time this video is out, so like, why am I talking about it now? Because that's like a decade ago if we're counting social media time. Like, so many trends have come and gone within that time. But to this day, Olivia is still making content in reaction to the original art battle video and its initial negative response.
What the H-E-C-K is this? Seriously. What the H-E-C-K is this? I don't want to look at this. I don't want to sit here and look at, okay, great, there's another one right underneath it.
You were mad about my paint skirt. Oh fuck, she's gonna die. She's covered in paint. You're mad. Painter. Oh my god, her clothes are covered in paint. She's not okay. She's not okay. I'll offer you some white wine. Oh my god, she's wiping paint on her ass room tonight.
And she also reacted to comments here and there as well. It irritated me how she ruined her clothes. Cry about it. She wanted to stand out so bad. At an art competition? Yeah. Did you buy a cheap Shein skirt specifically for the purpose of ruining it during your 20-minute painting competition? Thrifted linen skirt, but I understand quality is hard for some people to recognize. Recently, she made a full-on official response video, and this is what she had to say.
Held off as long as I could to address the comments on this video, but I am ready to talk about it. In March of 2025, I was privileged enough to participate in Art Battle, which is a live-timed painting competition. The main comment I always see on this video is main character syndrome. Other women in that video and participators did not wipe paint on themselves, and the clothes are okay, but I'm not. I do not apologize for taking up space, acting in ways that are outside the norm. I did it with pride. That is all you can do as a woman in the arts that is shamed constantly from taking up space.
Okay, so I'll show more clips of this particular video and talk more on it later. If we compile their responses, I think the issue is that there's inconsistency. And like, disclaimer, I'm not saying this to hate on Olivia or like validate anyone bullying her. Sometimes she simply liked the supportive comments. Other times she was sassy and funny. There was one particular convo where she liked a comment that was arguing with someone else in defense of her. Like, somebody commented, I honestly think people were just irked that the art was bad. The skirt thing looked cool until we got the reveal, but what you're saying is so true anyway. And then she responds, oh, and then somebody else is like, to the original commenter, let's see your painting. And then they actually respond with a painting and get like a fuck ton of likes. And then somebody else goes, art quality is subjective. Yours isn't better, lol, red heart. And she likes that comment. And other times, such as in her official response, she's mature and heartfelt. In real life, any one person can have all of these qualities and respond differently according to what mood they're in. But if you react on social media as you would in real life, all of a sudden you're being inconsistent. All of a sudden you're being inauthentic. You kind of, and this is the curse of being a creator and having a niche online, is you have to be very deliberate about what aspects of yourself you show, which angles you push. It's so ironic because audiences want authenticity so bad. Creators have to kind of artificially construct that authenticity in a way that people will receive it well. Like, okay, I'm not 100% authentic with you guys because technically I'm lying by omission. My audience, I love you guys, but you only know what I'm willing to show you. And much of what you see is scripted and skewed by the fact that I'm talking to an inanimate object while sitting alone in my apartment. So anyway, in this recent response video where Olivia addresses the controversy once and for all, people still weren't satisfied with what she had to say. You expressing yourself and having fun wasn't the issue. The painting was just not that great for such a grand performance. People were disappointed by the reveal. I think that's why people are hating. I'm gonna be so real, nobody would have said anything if the outcome was good. She saw people stop talking about it, and this is her last effort. A performance, if you may, to regain relevancy. This final comment, I think, really encapsulates the core of the issue. When you're known for this one thing, this one viral video, nothing else you do is really relevant. But when you keep bringing up the one thing you went viral for, you will also get criticized for milking it and having nothing else going for you. And on the flip side, that creator has to lean in on that trademark because it's the only thing that their audience cares about. And people don't really care much about your other content unless your other content also has virality. Like, it's such a rare blessing to be known for what you actually want to be known for. To have your art go viral instead of some cringy shit you did when you were still figuring yourself out and you didn't know just how many people were gonna see it. Like, you can't control which video goes viral and for what reasons. Olivia is unfortunately only ever gonna be the performative skirt painting girl in the eyes of many social media users now. And once you're known for being performative, it's nearly impossible to break out of that. It's like landing yourself in a psych ward and then everything you do or say kind of affirms the fact that you're crazy. Like, now all of Olivia's content is under speculation for being performative. She's leaned into it with her many subsequent videos addressing the criticism. She's done videos talking about her other projects and art pieces. Like, she's tried and tested multiple approaches before doing this official response video talking straight to the camera. Like, if I were in her position, I wouldn't know what the fuck to do either. Like, it's one thing to respond to controversy, but this isn't even what I would consider a controversy. Like, she was just smearing paint on herself. She didn't even win the competition. There's like apology videos done by creators who have done awful, unforgivable, career-ruining things. And then there's Olivia's situation where you just accidentally go viral for the wrong reason. Which you could say is a kind of career defining on the contrary, but it's also career ruining for sure. Because again, when you witness that from the outside in, looking at Olivia's contradicting responses, it's easy to conclude that you're seeing a girl who doesn't really know what she wants to be, and that makes her an easy target for criticism. Now let's look more at the official response itself.
I do not apologize for taking up space, acting in ways that are outside the norm. I did it with pride. That is all you can do as a woman in the arts that is shamed constantly from taking up space. I encourage women everywhere and femme-presenting people, take up space. We live in such an insecure society that pits us against each other, and I'm proud of every single one of you that keeps creating. Despite the ways that we are told as a society to take the easy route, you have chosen to take the hard route.
I get what she's trying to say, right? It's ridiculous to be criticized on such a mass scale for being a little whimsical and eccentric during an art competition. I'm sure several of the comments were fueled by misogyny. I do think it may have blown out of proportion because of misogyny. We do place higher expectations onto women. Like, when women do things that are considered cringy, it's usually considered more cringy than if a man were have to done the same thing. But I don't think the core of what people were upset about was ever about Olivia being a woman. Like, the conversation was not about pitting women against each other. I didn't see any comments that were comparing Olivia to other female creators, notwithstanding the other painters, some of which were also female in the art battle competition. And further, I didn't see any comments going after like her looks or anything like that, which usually is a follow-up when the controversy is primarily fueled by misogyny. Hey gang, so I have more information. I found a video of the woman who actually won this particular art battle, Kyla Yeager, because she posted a similar recap to her TikTok, and under this video there were 2 or 3 comments making reference to Olivia's video, but not to a substantial degree whatsoever. Honestly, most of the comments were just arguing about whether her painting was good or not. People were saying that she didn't deserve to win, that her art makes no sense, and other people were saying, no, you don't get it. And definitely affirms that women and artists in general just get a lot of heat for no fucking reason. By the way, y'all, another creator who goes by Presley is getting hate for the exact same reason. She's a live wedding painter, and she also wipes paint on her clothes while painting. And I think Presley is objectively more technically skilled in painting than Olivia, so the fact that she's getting hate for the same reason really goes to show that it's not actually about how good the painting was, despite what the critics were saying. Like that one comment saying nobody would have said anything if the outcome was good, but these other women just go to show that even if the outcome is like objectively like a skilled painting, people are still gonna have shit to say. And now I'm starting to think that if Olivia indeed made a painting that looked like this, for instance, or like this, and she won the art battle, the response would be no better. A second woman being shamed for smearing paint on her clothes, even with objectively better painting skills, honestly starts to legitimize what I think Olivia was trying to say about like women and femme-presenting artists. It affirms the implicit assumption that people are just unjustifiably mad because it's a woman doing it. And like criticizing the dress painting is like a way to redirect that anger without being like outright misogynistic. But unfortunately, as long as nobody's like explicitly saying you're a woman and I don't don't like you because of that, so I'm gonna find some excuse to tear you down. Your painting's bad and your skirt's ruined and I hate you. People are just not gonna make the connection when you defend yourself using feminism as a conversation. Why make the narrative be about women taking up space when the criticism the video was receiving wasn't anything about that? Now, response videos and apology videos are tough because you either swallow your pride and take full accountability and admit to your actions, or what tends to happen is a lot of creators will end up denying what they did or strawmanning, like willfully misinterpreting what people were upset about in the first place so that they have some point to refute, which demonstrates not only a lack of accountability, but also awareness. So depending on what you're apologizing for, it can be a lose-lose situation. Usually response videos just dig the person deeper. I think Olivia made great points. Being a creator is hard, and she has nothing to apologize for. I do think people were kind of giving her no way out. I think that if she were indeed doing what I suspect she was in the past few months, which was trying to figure out how she can either trademark this whole skirt painting situation or move on from it, but nothing is working, that could have been a struggle that she could have shared in her response video rather than bringing up feminism or AI, which for this situation was just too broad of a context. This video could have been linked back to the conversation of feminism, except nobody was explicitly pitting women against each other in criticism of Olivia. So when she addresses the hate by talking about women taking up space and the struggles of being a female artist, which again, she's right, I absolutely agree that female artists are under a lot more pressure to be perfect, but in this situation, this feminist response struck a lot of people as a victim card, as virtue signaling. She was also very indirect in addressing what she did. I think she basically said that other women competing against her did not wipe paint on themselves. And she also made it a conversation about AI, which means that artists need to band together more than ever. And again, she's right.
So scary with AI these days. All I want to see is people make art, and I don't care how shitty it is, but we need to band together more now than ever because artists are losing opportunities to AI.
AI is scary, it is taking jobs, but again, not relevant enough. The existence of generative AI and being a female artist unfortunately does not make you averse to criticism. You're welcome to make, in her words, shitty art, and I too would love to see everybody's shitty art, by the way. But if you do so, you have to come to terms with the fact that people are going to call it shitty. I think it also just wasn't the best route for her to be talking about taking the hard route or acting outside the norm.
Do not apologize for taking up space, acting in ways that are outside the norm, like the ways that we are told as a society to take the easy route. You have chosen to take the hard route.
When the main critiques were being unskilled and having a lack of originality. Like, I think people just saw it as a deflection of blame, and some people felt like she was even doubling down on the performativity. Also, guys, don't ever put sad music over a video responding to controversy. Even if you didn't do anything wrong, just don't do it. So a lot of comments defending her were saying that art is a performance, and again, I totally agree. If we go with this narrative that what she was doing was performance art, that does leave it open to speculation, and so it's perfectly valid for one to speculate that the purpose of the act was to gain an edge on her competition. And I say that because that's the only situation I can think of under which the criticism would have been more warranted, because that would have been unfair, and I'm not accusing her of doing so. Do I think Olivia's painting was exceptional, and would I have voted for it? No. I also don't think her paint-covered dress or her art tattoo wins her the competition either. I think if she were voted winner and it was thanks to the performance of her painting process, that's when I think performativity would have warranted criticism, because it would have been giving her an unfair edge against the other painters who didn't deserve to lose because they weren't doing something extra on top of working on their painting for those 20 minutes. It was a painting competition, not a performance art competition. If anything, I think she sabotaged herself because, again, the way she presented herself gave people a certain expectation about her work, and she ultimately left them disappointed. You expressing yourself and having fun wasn't the issue. The painting was just not that great for such a grand performance. People were disappointed by the reveal. I think that's why people are hating. But like, say she admits that in her response video. Say she goes, I was doing my utmost to win, so I tried to play up my artsiness for votes. While that may gain her authenticity points, it would also affirm what the critics were saying in the first place. So again, lose-lose. And I mean, whether she won herself the competition or not, I think she definitely gained something. And I think she's still, as she said, in development, trying to figure out for herself whether that something was good or not, and what to do with it. Okay, before we move on, I just want to make something very, very clear, and it's that I do not have an issue with performativity. I don't have an issue with what Olivia did during her competition. A few videos ago, I spoke about another case where I was talking about performativity, and I linked that situation to the performative male phenomenon that was trending on social media. It was not about a man, say, joining an art competition or smearing paint all over himself during it. It was about a man using his hobby as a safety blanket that enables him to say or do bad things and get away with it. It's kind of like a more discreet version of being like, I'm not racist, I have black friends so I can say the N-word. Like, you know, I'm not sexist, I have a hobby traditionally associated with women, and thus getting away with saying microaggressive remarks about women. Now, in that previous case study, which I've linked up here if you want to see it, I did say that the conversation was sparked by misogyny, and it was a conversation about feminism because the catalyst was a female-centric project, and the comment was, you know, explicitly upset about that and trying to deny that gender association because of a misogynistic fear of being associated with women and or the feminine. But nobody in today's case was criticizing who Olivia was as a woman or blatantly comparing her to other female artists in derogatory ways. And with comments like these, it's really impossible to determine whether or not the commenter is commenting because they're misogynistic. So there's no basis under which you can make that fair accusation without it sounding like a huge reach. So when her response was about women taking up space, for many people still it did not land well. Calling someone performative, I think nowadays honestly disproportionately affects men. That term started as a call out to men who dressed or acted a certain way as a facade, behind which they were actually terrible people. It was a reaction to the tendency for abusers to be defended and forgiven for the bad things that they've done because they are straight A students or top athletes or they're popular or literally just conventionally attractive. Nowadays, I think we're so quick to point fingers and shout performative at literally any guy who's just fucking drinking matcha or has painted nails or has a fucking labubu, I don't know. Like, from my perspective, I think it started out as a radical movement of holding men accountable for their actions, and then it just became completely bastardized and then twisted into another means of bullying. I've seen men start mental health initiatives and then post it online, and all the comments were just saying performative. Like, it's become completely backwards, and I just want to make it very abundantly fucking clear that hating on men for having hobbies and dressing a certain way is not what I stand for. Whether it's a man or a woman, I don't care if they're smearing paint on themselves, if they drink matcha, if they paint their nails, whatever. It only becomes problematic when these things make their bad behavior excusable, when it lets them get away with doing bad things. That criticism should have stayed explicitly for, like, sex offenders and adulterers. Like, why is it that some girl just does a little act on TikTok with her painting and then everyone's using the performative critique? Like, Kim, there are literally people that are dying and, like, getting groomed. I think if people found what Olivia did disingenuous and unoriginal, the best thing you can do is just ignore it. Don't give her the engagement. Don't give her the watch time. Like, she is right when she says that when she went viral, she landed herself a bunch of opportunities. Those negative responses gave her a platform where she can show more of her mediocre work. Like, the original video has 5.2 million likes, and while most people were saying her painting isn't good, she probably sold more paintings because of that video. I think when certain archetypes, if you will, are a popular topic of discourse. I forgot to list some examples. So performative is one, but there's also male gaze, which I fucking hate that term, but that's for a whole other video that's gonna be like 3 hours long. Boy mom, Oxford study, I get Oxford study a lot. Pick me, bop, Discord mod, and like nobody's really using the terms correctly. They're just using it to bully people who look a certain way. Anyone who fits under those labels and have any remote reason to be disliked become disliked in mass waves. Or like maybe Olivia's like whimsical artsy aesthetic is expected to belong to somebody who would be more humble and put on like less of a show during a painting competition. I don't know. I just think it's so arbitrary, and as soon as like one person breaks the ice and comments a slang or a buzzword, everyone else kind of just jumps in. I wonder if it just boils down to whether it's a hater or a supporter commenting first. Like, if the first few comments under Olivia's video were hyping her up, Maybe that would have made the haters too scared to say anything, and then she would have gotten mostly positive remarks. Cause yeah, it's trendy to hate on performative people, it's trendy to hate on people with a certain appearance or enjoy this or that, but like, they didn't do anything wrong per se. Like, I think the video was cringe, to be honest, but cringiness is not problematic. I'm literally the cringiest bitch you will ever meet. People think she's performative and Pinteresty. Bitch, look at my background. If that's not a fucking Pinterest board, I don't know what is. I'm cringe, okay? Absolutely nothing wrong with being cringe. Like, I remember seeing Olivia's video pop up on my For You page back in March and like not thinking much of it. And then I opened the comments and just remember being really confused because why is everybody so pressed? Overall, I think the reaction was so out of proportion for what she actually did. It didn't give her an unfair edge over the competition. I think it's outrageous that she did feel the need to talk about the responses because they were getting that bad and dragging out for so long. Like, yeah, her response could have been more relevant and more direct, but then again, it's hard to know what to say when people are hating on you for fucking smearing paint on yourself. If you are a creator, especially an artistic creator, sharing your work online, you are opening yourself up to unsolicited judgment. And a response video, if not perfectly curated, either digs you deeper or just does nothing at all. Again, this video was not made to bully her. I'm just a YouTuber covering the topic. Do not take this video as validation to go to her account or anybody's account that I showed and leave hate. I can only hope that I never see the fucking day where I have to make a response video with sad music in the background. If you guys have things to say about this situation that could potentially hurt somebody's feelings, leave it in my comment section under this video where said people are not going to see it and feel bad. And it also gives me engagement. So let me know what you think, like whether you think the hate was warranted or not, and whether you saw the video and what you thought of it personally. If you're an artist and a content creator, let me know what your experience has been like sharing your work online. If for whatever reason I made you upset in this video and you want to go and criticize my work and call me performative, you have to buy my art first, so go to the Etsy link in my description. Go crazy, it pays my bills. This Totoro hoodie, by the way, is also my own design. I have a pattern for it on my Etsy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.